Welcome to Weekends with Whitney. Coming up in today's show, Louisiana opera sensation Arnold Rawls. A homecoming celebration in his hometown, Monroe, raising money and awareness for the arts. Then, DR.NICK on how to create more joy in our lives.
The answer I could really honestly give is to begin to create moments and experiences that give it. Really look for what's going to give me joy.
But first, Louisiana international opera star Arnold Rawls. He comes home and brings down the house. It's been more than a quarter century since most here have heard Arnold Rawls sing. Wade Bishop used to sing with him in the West Monroe High School choir.
We heard about it and rushed out to get tickets, and it's a good thing because they sold out pretty quickly. And you see why, because if you've never heard Arnold, you think, wow, this guy, he sounds as good as any opera tenor I have ever heard anywhere. And he does.
This homecoming concert raised $10,000 for the Louisiana Opera and gave young musicians a chance to perform with an international opera star. Pastor Shane Warren helped make it happen.
We just really believe that there needs to be a renaissance in the area of the arts. There needs to be a rediscovery of some of those roots. And in a lot of places in the world, they appreciate it, but Americans are slowly losing that. In fact, it's almost like we're aging out in the arts. And so those 40 and above seem to enjoy it, love it, and those 40 and below seem to not even understand really what it's all about, even though they're very artsy. They don't know about things like the opera and other things like that in general. So I just have a heart to bridge that gap generationally.
Opera's not music most grew up with. In fact, it wasn't until well after high school that Arnold started singing it. Growing up, Christian music was his signature style. Songs like this one. His brother Al says opera was something his family knew nothing about. The first one he ever saw starred Arnold.
Oh, I don't know what the name of it was, but I didn't understand a thing that went on.
It's how short they are, loving kindness, it must make the good Lord sad. They don't know what it ain't, what you feel that counts, but what you do about it. So instead they take it out on you. It must make the good Lord sad.
Initially, Arnold's parents didn't understand why he wanted to play in the high school band instead of playing football. But his sister says they came around.
He knew what he wanted to do. He stuck with it. And I know Mom and Dad, my dad especially, was, kind of disappointed that he didn't do the football thing, but they were really proud of him once he got going. The opera thing just wasn't quite what they knew anything about. They did grow into it.
Early in Arnold's career, he performed in an opera in Natchez, Mississippi. Cindy Cameron and some of his other friends had to see it.
That was, close enough for us to all pile in the car and just go have a good friends weekend and get to hear it. I think we were all kind of blown away, that was our friend Arnold up there, doing that. Again, we knew he was talented, but what surprises me the most is that he knows all those languages.
Arnold had to get serious learning Italian, French, and German. It paid off. He's performed in most of the best opera houses around the world. Last October, I caught up with him at New York City's Metropolitan Opera. He was covering for Sasha Antonenko in the lead tenor role of Caliph in Turandot. It's a role he's confident in.
I find for me, my level of nervousness is equal to my level of preparation. This particular role I've done 70 times, 75 times, so my level of preparation is really, really high, therefore my level of nerves is low. So I get to the theater wanting him to do so well, and then there's that little thing inside me that said, maybe he has a cold today. Maybe he was hit by that bus. Lord, please take care of him, but get me in costume.
Until showtime, it's wait and see.
Maybe so. Get that body off that stage. Steady going on.
It's Arnold's time. He didn't hit the stage during my time in the Big Apple, but 2 weeks later, on Halloween night, he did.
It was absolutely fantastic fun.
His opera coach, Margaret Singer, says Arnold's talent extends beyond his voice.
When I see him in makeup and costume, I really don't believe that he transforms himself into the characters that he's playing.
He takes his work seriously, but not himself.
Let's see if I can get me back.
Il nome mio nessun saprà, no,
In a profession full of divas, it's rare.
Never met Arnold before this event, so it's a first time to meet him, and he did an amazing job, and just an amazing person. Very kind, tender-hearted, and definitely not a prima donna. I was concerned a little bit about that. Like, how's this going to work? But I was glad to see that he was so considerate and such a people person, a lover of people.
He's just Arnold. What you see is what you get.
That's what everybody loves about Arnold. He's the same today as he was 40 years ago.
Oh, isn't that lovely?
It is lovely. It's great. He's such an awesome talent to be able to continue to do what he's done for so many years. and to, you know, come and give back to the community and encourage the young people in our choir and our band.
While he was home, Arnold taught a master class at ULM.
I love doing master classes and stuff because it's all about being positive. Everyone has something that they can do well, and then just kind of polishing it and getting it to another level. Because singing is, I mean, so subjective.
What do you tell these kids?
Well, I mean, it's just basically, you know, you're behind, you know, you got to step it up. Because we never can be good enough. It's terrible. But there's always someone better. There's always someone, you know, you're literally competing with to get a role. So I mean, there's just a lot to do. And so in the master class, you usually hear them sing, and then you pinpoint some areas that they could do better.
Choral director Greg Oden says Arnold's joy is infectious.
He's just such a great talent and such a great friend of West Monroe High School, and we love to show our kids that anything's possible.
I think, you know, there's a generation that's looking for authenticity, and they're willing to receive from somebody if they'll just be authentic. That's what my passion is, and I was glad to see that was Arnold's passion as well. I was very proud of him tonight for what he did and what he did for the community and for the students. He didn't have to do this tonight, but he took of his time to come and be a part. Yeah, and it blessed the community, and I was glad to see it.
Arnold not only travels the world singing opera, he's artist in residence at Ouachita Baptist University.
We have a lot of people from West Monroe. Louisiana draws to Ouachita. Yeah, we really do. The pastor at McClendon has a degree from Ouachita. His child is at Ouachita. Yeah, there's just a lot of ties. So they're wanting to get a music degree in a Christian environment. So, and as far as voice people go, you always choose the school where the teacher is you want to work with, because it's the teacher that's important. Just like on a football team, the coach, you know, you want to go the coach. And yeah, same thing with music.
Arnold's Christian faith wasn't always embraced by everyone along his journey.
I just remember one of my coaches that when I started coaching with him, he said, I know you're at Moody Bible Institute, but I don't want to hear anything about Jesus, you know, I don't want to hear it. We're here to work. And I was like, okay. His father ended up getting very, very ill, and who do you think he called to talk about things spiritual? He called me. I wanted to say, wait a minute now, we weren't supposed to talk about it. No, we're not talking about that, remember?
Others, like Al, worried Arnold might lose his faith.
I was worried about him losing his Christian connection. Told us that don't forget where you came from. And really, Christian music is what got him on his way.
Arnold's faith hasn't floundered, it's flourished.
Crazy, but I mean, I'm like a missionary in the professional music world. I mean, they need goodness and light, just like, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It was like when I was a professional singer and I was not teaching at Christian school, or I wasn't a minister of music at the church, I realized that the people that needed me the most were not inside the confines of the church. It's the people outside that needed the love of Christ, that needed good people. And need to see it in action, yeah. To be a shining light in a dark world is, I think it's what we're all supposed to do. And that our tent is, I think God's tent is pretty big. It's very big.
heads back to New York City next week to start rehearsals on another show at the Metropolitan Opera, Mephistopheles. And still ahead, Dr. Nick, how to create more joy in our lives and what to do when others try to steal that joy, as Weekend with Whitney continues.
Each morning in Baton Rouge, we rise to meet opportunity. We carry the weight of responsibility proudly. We choose our paths. We move fast and we fly high. We light the way for others to follow. We make it happen. But what really matters is what happens when we land at home. Baton Rouge Metropolitan Airport. Fly easy.
Joy. It is that feeling that we seem to never be able to get enough of. Dr. Nick joins us with more. How do we get more joy? Good morning.
Yeah, I just love reflecting on words, you know, and I think joy is an interesting experience in life. And I almost, Whitney, feel like we need to approach it from the opposite, meaning we might come to understand what joy is and have more of it if we reflect on what was not enjoyable.
Sure.
You almost come at it not from a negative, but from what it's not. And I know that we've all been in situations and we've had experiences where if we're honest with ourselves, we'll say, I didn't really enjoy that very much. I didn't get much joy out of that. And then we reflect on experiences and situations where the joy was just so natural and felt so uplifted.
Yes, and sometimes it's just abounding. I mean, it's just
abounding.
It's like it's just coming at you.
And what is greater than a compliment of I really enjoyed myself last night, or I enjoyed our visit, or I enjoyed going to work. And again, people will say, oh, well, how can I ever have joy at work, or I'm just not a very joyful person. And I don't know that should be so conclusive. I think all of us really have an instinctive urge towards joy. I was thinking this morning, you know what my best sometimes sample of joy is?
What is?
Smile. Just to greet someone with a smile, to enter a situation with a smile. Doesn't a smile convey joy?
Absolutely.
It doesn't necessarily convey that I'm jumping up and down, but life is good. We smile.
It's an internal thing.
I think I like to smile especially when I'm greeting someone.
Right, and that is a share of joy between two people for sure.
Yes.
But what about those people in those moments that really steal your joy?
Well, I think we have to distinguish what's a theft.
Okay.
And not everything in life is going to be enjoyable.
Right.
And that doesn't mean that the other person or the situation is bad. We're going to have gray skies. We're going to suffer. We're going to experience moments of deep sadness and grief and perhaps anger. That, I think, is fine.
Yes.
Right? We chew on it a little bit and then we say, okay, my father's dead, but I know that he wants me to enjoy life.
Sure.
Okay. Now, what you're raising is that question of why is it that we feel like some people can steal our joy,
right,
or that we give it away, or that we're almost like vampired, huh? We feel like we've been drained, or I didn't like that feeling.
Right.
That's a more difficult one because I don't think we want to make a judgment or blame or put down or discount the other person, but we sure need to be aware of the energy.
And maybe that's more accurate. But I can tell you that I've walked into a room or a situation, maybe it's just one-on-one person, and I'm walking on sunshine and everything's gone great that day, and they just seem to knock down the pillars of joy in my life one after another. It doesn't happen very often, but when it does, it's so heartbreaking because
it is.
I was really good before I saw you.
It really is. And I remember telling someone not long ago, I said, this has really been tough. I'm not feeling real good right now.
Is that what you meant?
And that person looked at me, he said, well, that's your problem. It's not mine. And I kind of was like, Well, maybe I do need to think about how secure I am in my joy.
Right. Or maybe I should have walked away a minute ago.
Maybe I really should have said, excuse me, I need to go get some water.
I see what this is about. I'm out of here.
Which, again, is not necessarily at all a judgment on the other person. It's just like, I need to step away from this particular heat or this energy drain.
Yes.
Because I want to be joyful. I've heard people say, I'm not letting her or him steal my joy. And I'm like, okay, I'll go with that.
Right.
I have a little
but perhaps
bit of an
it's
issue.
not possible for them to steal it.
That's where I think we need to be discerning.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost, I mean, am I giving that person too much power over me? Or maybe that person really does have a whole lot of power over me. And I need to really look at how I might grow from it. You know, not every encounter can have an upside to it.
Sure.
So I don't want to go and knock it. I just know that one of the struggles between joy is what's not enjoyable and what's not. And I think we really do need to reflect on which is which.
Which is which.
And do our very best to make something enjoyable.
Yes, yes. You know, it's funny, somebody was asking me about John Pasternak the other day, and, you know, he and I did the morning show together for years,
Yeah.
and I'm telling you, that is someone who every day greeted the day with joy.
Every day.
I
think
rarely
you're absolutely right.
ever saw him, he wasn't joyful. And it was delightful to work with someone like that.
Yes.
And where does it come from?
Yes.
I mean, he has so much of it.
Yeah.
I think he has more than I do.
Well, I would be willing to say that some of it really is environmental. I'd love to know his parents.
Oh, yeah.
And the people. I don't
You're
know
right.
about John, but I mean, I just think that it'd be interesting to interview him one of these days and find out, because I bet he grew up in a smiling home and in a joyful home.
Yeah. So for people who didn't, how do they find a robust sense of joy?
Well, I think the only answer I could really honestly give is to begin to create moments and experiences that give it. Really look for what's going to give me joy. It's about my life. Remember, we can't be blaming forever.
Right.
So and part of it too, Whitney, is a commitment to I want to be. I want to have more joy in my life. I want for life to be joyful. Yesterday's gone. It won't come back. I have today. What can I do today to make it more joyful? I love when I can see a client just laugh a little bit, and I catch it. It's like, I got a little laugh out of you.
Absolutely.
You know, I stole a little joy out of you, meaning I didn't steal it, but I got it.
Yes.
Good, I got it. See, it is there. It is there. And getting people to talk about things that they love, and it's like, wow, that really, I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
That was so enjoyable. I let this overshadow the joy.
I love how people start their day with something that gives them joy. For instance, a friend of mine always starts with 30 minutes of music every day. Music and meditation. And then I was talking to Jenny Ballard yesterday, and she said she starts every day 30 minutes of reading. And she said it always gets her day off beautifully. And she's not reading the news, she's reading a book, she's reading
maybe
for
a
enjoyment.
novel or something.
Yes.
But it's something that's giving her joy. Yeah, I caught early this morning this little girl that did the national anthem, like 6 or 7 years old.
Yes.
And I was just smiling from ear to ear. And I thought, what a great way to begin the day. I was just smiling from ear to ear. Because we do really feed each other. We're not in a vacuum. So it is important for us to think about who we associate with.
Right.
You know, and how we can maybe at least say, gosh, I need to be around people who are joyful.
Right.
I think we've got a lot of joy. I have my down moments.
I think we do have a lot. I think that's why we enjoy each other so
But
much.
I love to laugh and cut up and play and just have fun.
Absolutely.
Have fun like a little kid.
And it is a choice.
It is a choice.
And so today, let's choose joy.
And enjoy. Enjoy the rest of the Sunday, everyone.
Thanks, Dr. Nick. More Weekends with Whitney after this. Atlas Foundation Repair, fixing your foundation problems for more than 30 years while preserving and protecting your trees.
See that angry soccer mom over there? Giving the referee 2 earfuls? Well, I'm the human dislike button, and I see it too.
Rule Section 2, Part 1B, if a team does not display quality sportsmanship during the regular season, they may be barred from future sports opportunities.
Gotta remember, even though they make convincing canaries, referees are people too. It's important to keep your cool and use sportsmanship in every situation. I'm the human dislike button, but one thing I do like is following the rules. To learn more about me, go to breck.org/HDB.
Thanks for sharing your time with us here on Weekends with Whitney. We hope to see you back here again next week. Until then, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. But until then, we leave you with this.
But in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your life.